Welcome to the penultimate video in our cold calling series. If you've been following us each week, you've learned a lot to get to this point. Well, hopefully anyway. We've talked about the definition of cold calling. We've talked about how to get over cold call anxiety, proven techniques for cold calling, and of course, how to actually get motivated to make those calls in the first place. And today, we're finally going to learn another very important lesson about cold calling, your opening lines. I'm Ian Campbell, and I'm CEO of Mission Suite. Before we jump into today's video, as always, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you're notified anytime that we post new videos. For the past 10 years, I've helped my clients use Mission Suite to get the most out of their contacts, from juggling and hopefully organizing those contacts to knowing the right time to reach back out. There's no shortage of options for how to keep in touch with the people that you meet while you're out prospecting, networking, whatever that you may be doing. And as we've discussed over the course of the past few weeks, cold calling is often one of those necessary steps that we need to take in order to grow our businesses. And there are a few things more crucial than the opening lines of that cold call. After all, it's how you're going to set the tone of the call and capture the attention of that potential client. Of course, everybody's different, but the following lines that we're going to talk about today really focus in on lines that have been proven to work in the past, right? As you'll probably see, the most successful lines out there are a mix of intrigue and honesty, and you'll likely have a better idea of what I mean as we make our way through this video. So let's get started. So the first line that we're going to focus on is, "I was hoping you could help me with this." Now, I know that might seem like it's a bit weird of an opening line for a cold call, but there's actually some logic behind it. Right. First of all, you're hitting on that intrigue button, right? Right off the bat, the person you're talking to is wondering what it is that they might be able to help with, and they at least want an idea as to what you're talking about, right? But beyond that, it also helps to appeal to their sense of importance. All of a sudden, you have introduced a problem and you've indicated that you need their help. Not only do they want to know what you're talking about just out of pure curiosity, but also because they wonder how they might be able to help you. And if you've done your research with this call, you'll have made sure that this is actually an honest opening line. So you never want to go into a call trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. And before making the call, you want to ensure that this is the right person, the right company, and that they can really help you out in getting into a meeting. Speaking of honesty, we're going to dive right into the most direct approach that we take for an opening line. The reason for my call is... That's right. No messing around here, right? You're going straight from your introduction right into what you're trying to offer. It may seem a little counterintuitive for some people, but think back to the last cold call that you actually got, right? It was probably from someone who you didn't know, right? They spent a lot of time beating around the bush, and you may have noticed your attention start to wander, maybe a little frustration rise. Most likely it was already coming in at a bad time, and you were probably just waiting for them to get to the point. And if you think about it, that's true for most people. Many of us are naturally suspicious of cold callers, right? And we just want them to get to the point already, to know what they're asking for. And as a result, we don't really listen to much of what they're saying until they actually tell us what they want from us in the first place. So being proactive like this can actually increase a call success rate by over 2 times. But what if you mix the directly honest approach with a layer of intrigue? Well, that brings us to our third example of an opening line. And this third example is, "Hey, I'm a little lost. Do you mind if I take a second to tell you why I'm calling?" Now, kind of going back to before, this approach definitely sets you up to reveal why you're calling right at the beginning of the call, right? And again, people are going to listen better when they know that an answer is coming to why you're on the phone with them, right? And using this language, they can't help but wonder why you're a little lost. So it hits on that intrigue. The other thing about this opener is that it's also a bit of a pattern interrupt. You aren't jumping in right away trying to sell them, but you're asking for help. This is good in helping to build a rapport with the person that you're calling right off the bat. You're giving them an opportunity to help, and people like to help others in need. So there's a bit of intrigue, a promise of a straightforward reason for the call to come, and you're straight up asking them to give you a hand. So before we continue, I want to hear what you have to say about cold call opening lines. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you have already been on the receiving end of cold calls in the past, and you've probably been on the dialing side too. So I want to know, what are some of the best and the worst opening lines that you've heard that have either really captured your attention or just left you with your forehead in your palm? So head down to the comments, let us know, and don't forget to hit the like button if you're finding any of this information useful. So let's jump into our next opening line. It's another one of those directly honest ones. Line number 4 is, we've never spoken before. I know, it's a weird line, right? It almost seems like one that's really destined to just get the click right off the bat. But the logic actually makes a lot of sense. According to some studies, 90% of people that picked up the phone were open to a conversation after hearing this line. And it goes back to that old Honest Abe style of salesmanship, right? You want to build trust with your clients. They get a lot of calls, and the last thing that you want to do is start off on the wrong foot with some sort of lie or white lie that's easily disprovable. So build trust early and make sure that it's there. Plus, this line gets straight to the point, and you can hop straight from there into a request to tell them what you're calling for, or maybe a request to help. And finally, we have our final and perhaps most simple opening line. But some people love it, some people hate it. This one actually can take a few different forms, right? But it's something to the effect of, how have you been? Or how are you? Something like that, right? The logic behind it makes sense, right? It's an easy way for you to start feeling like a friend. On a more cynical level, it's also a question that begs an answer. They can either confirm that they've been good or bad or whatever, or just ask you who you are, why you're calling. Either way, they've set you up to continue your pitch. Now, understandably, some people aren't too hot on this line. They feel like you're tricking them. They feel like it's just a lie, but there's no denying that it's truly effective, right? Otherwise, people wouldn't keep using it. At the end of the day, the goal of an opening line is to open a dialogue between you and the person that you're talking to. And this line, while it is simple, has proven itself to be quite the cold call opening contender. There you have it. 5 great and proven opening lines for cold calls. These things have been proven to work over and over again. So take them, work with them, and put them in your cold calling script so that you can give them a shot. And if you don't have a cold calling script, well, we've got you there too. If you click on the link in the description below, it'll take you to a landing page on our website where you can actually build out your own cold calling script. Now, I know that every business is different, and no matter how great every person's approach will be that much different, right? So rather than give you just a template, we created a way for you to build your own script. So claim your cold call script by clicking on the link in the description below and go check it out. Hey, I hope you got something out of this video, and if you did, go down, give it a thumbs up, maybe give it a share so that others can see it too. That always helps us, get a little bit more traction with the YouTube algorithm and gets us in front of more people. And also, while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so that you're notified anytime that we post new videos. And while you're at it, make sure to check out these videos too, and we'll see you next time around. Cheers.